Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of the 72 review. You'll see that we've got a full panel of guests on today. We've got the regulars, Jake and Ian. We've got a special guest down below me. It is Liam Martin from the Argyle Way. Welcome to the 72 review, mate. Introduce yourself, tell us what you're all about, plug whatever you need to plug.
I'm obviously a viewer on the Argyle Way. Jack Edwards, Harvey Rosefield and Harvey England do the Argyle Way. Obviously, Jake was one of the guests on that for the Argyle versus Sheffield Wednesday game. When was the game again, Jake?
It was the game that got replayed because of the death in the royal family.
Yeah, what month?
Was it September?
We've all slept since then.
Well, yeah. I've slept since then. Yeah, he was a guest on that anyway. But yeah, that channel is doing very well, and my main channel is I just mainly do streams on that as well. So that's on about 308 subs, and the Argyle Way is on 165. And we've been doing that since August, so we're doing very well on that.
Oh, that's growing well.
Yeah.
So obviously, a link to the Argyle Way is in the description down below. Head over there and support them. If you're into lower league football, somebody is into lower league football, very much so. It is Ian Bradley. Introduce yourself. I think the regular viewers will know who you are.
I'm Ian, 60-year-old Millers fan, Millers season ticket holder. But when the Millers are away, I'm all over the country vlogging League 1 and 2 football mainly for nearly put my old firm out, for overthebar.com, which is a YouTube channel and website just devoted to Leagues 1 and 2.
Great.
Unfortunately, with these rail strikes, I've not been able to get around as much lately, but I did a lot in November.
Yeah, you did.
Not too bad at the minute anyway, because there's a lot of postponements, which we will get to shortly. But before that, I will pass you over to Jake, PunkChef41. Introduce yourself to the people who don't know you, but I think we've got regular viewers in anyway. So it's all yours.
I am Jake, aka PunkChef41. I've been doing this for about 12 years now, covering Sheffield Wednesday. Really enjoy doing it. During the lockdown period, I managed to meet Dan while doing something called the Football Vlogger podcast. We've become very good friends since then and kept it going and kept the relationship going. I also do a podcast called the Talking Wednesday podcast, which is out every Tuesday at 5 p.m. We talk all things Wednesday, obviously, because it's a Wednesday thing. But I've got to say, Dan, this is getting really, really bad. It
just gets harder and harder.
Keeps getting harder.
For anyone who doesn't know what that is, no context,
Charles.
Is it's doing very well. It's very funny when there's no football and you just randomly see it appear on your timeline and it has you giggling. And I think I saw that No Contact Child got shouted out on Under the Kosh podcast, which is amazing.
I love the Rose Sean Williams one.
There's some brilliant stuff on there. Go ahead and check it out. As always, though, as the show is going on, get your comments in and we'll go through as many as we can. It does kind of drive the conversation a lot of the time. But what we will be doing is going through all three leagues. We're going to start in League 2 and work our way.
Yeah, good one.
ATID's in the chat. Michael Cooper is better than Hugo Lloris. And then we've got Around the Grounds. Evening, gents. What a World Cup final. So I think that's a good place to start. World Cup final. I've been doing the rounds, delivering Christmas presents like a really shit Santa. So you guys have watched the World Cup final and you were waxing lyrical about it before we came live. Ian,
I'll go out on a limb here. And like I say, I've been watching football for 50 plus years. And that, I will say, that's the best game I've ever seen. That was the greatest game in the history of world football. It had so many twists and turns. It had so many subplots. Messi getting his World Cup winners' medal at last, scoring 2 goals. Mbappe getting a hat-trick, equaling Jeff Hurst, and yet finishing on the losing side. Yeah, it was just absolutely breathtaking from start to finish. It could have been about 7-8 each easily. But what an advert for the game. Fantastic. Really enjoyed it.
Interestingly, Ian, Mbappe has already got a World Cup and a World Cup medal, so he doesn't have to have that monkey on his back like Messi's had for most of his career.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I think in that sense, he got the thing where he'll be back again. He's a very good player. We all know what it is. The thing for me is that I haven't watched much of this World Cup, but I watched the final and breathtaking final. And Mbappe's second goal was superb.
We're out of this world, weren't it?
And I think the thing is, with this at the minute, you just got to go, we've had the World Cup, normal football can go back to thing. And I think the problem is, I hope it doesn't, but I do think this World Cup will go down as the World Cup that no one really cared about. And it's a shame because that was a good final to top it, finish it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Liam, few words on the World Cup final, mate, before we have a look through some of the comments that are flying in at the minute.
I watched the final. What a final. I mean, Mbappe, different class. So is Messi. I mean, it was inevitable that they was both going to score in the final. To Messi, I think he deserves it because is it his last World Cup? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
So just on that basis, he does deserve it.
Good stuff. Let's have a quick look through the comments that have come in. ATID says that he was saving all those RG pens. That's Michael Cooper. We've got Melissa. Evening watching in London. There we go.
People doesn't say penalties, ATID. I can tell it for a fact, mate. He doesn't say penalties.
ATID saying it's the second best game for me. Nothing is topping Derby away this season. Around the ground, he said, agreeing I agree, Ian. It had everything. Hat-trick goal scorer and not winning it. Edge of seat stuff.
Can we just say that me and Ian have got one as well? Emmy Martinez, made in South Yorkshire. Just saying.
Yeah, ex-Sheffield Wednesday and ex-Rotherham United. Both loan spells, obviously, but we've got a World Cup winner.
Yep.
Yeah. Take the wins where you can, Ian. Lee Fern, evening guys, Barnsley fan here. I'm starting to believe we may just be able to catch the top two. We've won 5 games on the trot and just 9 points away from the top 2 with 2 games in hand. So, yeah, saying that, he'd be happy with playoffs, which is decent. He says Duff is one hell of a manager.
Yes, I agree.
So with that, I think we should get started. We're going to go with League 2 first, into League 1, and then finish on the Championship. So we'll get them on screen. Obviously, a lot of games.
If this was your betting stuff, you lost a lot of games.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't.
Postponements, there were a lot of them in League 2. So massive congratulations or well done needs to be said to the Leyton Orient and Barrow ground staff who got their games on.
Oh, yeah, we are.
The games going across on the ticker at the bottom. And we'll start with Leyton Orient. Ian, you wanted to say a few words about this one, mate?
Well, Orient this season have been like a bit of an express train. I can't see anybody stopping them.
No.
Even in the games where it's even on possession and chances, they seem to get over the line. And in the guy, the Smith, him that scored the wonder goal at Doncaster.
Don't remember.
What a player for League 2. They just seem absolutely unstoppable. And Wellens really ought to get his trophy cabinet sorted out because they are League 2 champions without any question in my book.
Yep.
It's looking that way, isn't it?
Yeah. This is a question then. Do you think they're surviving League 1?
Well, it depends on recruitment. It depends on whether they can keep the team spirit together. But in League 1, it's like 2 separate divisions. There's a lot of good teams in League 1. There's a lot of big clubs in League 1. But there's also some dross. And there's some dross that will survive. So in answer to that, I would say yes. I think they've got every chance of surviving in League 1.
The thing is, for me, they aren't like a Forest Green where they were too good for League 2. They are the team that will become like a Bristol Rovers and just be able to be up there in League 1 and be coping well. That's the difference.
Yeah,
I think
Bristol Rovers or Port Vale kind of team who's gone up there and done.
And also, they're based in London, which is a massive advantage. With all the transport links and contacts that Wellens will have made, it's an attractive proposition.
You've also got the other thing, like you've got the link up with Harry Kane as well.
Yeah, we are to. Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
So you've got that link up there where if they say they've got a player who wants to go on loan, Birth might be like, well, go to Leyton Orient. Harry's knows about them. He knows what the crack is. Let's go over there. It's one of those things. I don't think them coming up to League One, they struggle. And it shows you, and annoyingly for Donny fans, you'll see this and be like, why did this not work? But it shows you when a structure and things behind the scenes are in place and the backing there, it works.
I think Wellens inherited a better team at Leyton Orient than what he did at Donny. I think he had a lot of building to do at Donny, and he didn't get the time, but I think it became very toxic very quickly. It's come out in numerous podcasts and interviews and said that it was the right club at the wrong time, and I think he's hitting the nail on the head with that. Whereas I think he's got probably the right club at the right time. There's no two ways about it. He's a good coach. He's proven that. I just think we weren't in a position to help him flourish as he is doing at Leyton Orient, and he's doing very, very well, which is always nice to see. I like ex-players doing well.
Yeah.
There was only Barrow against Swindon, but we will have a quick look at the table and move swiftly on to League One, where there's a few more games. We'll start down at the bottom. Obviously, no change. Sutton, that defeat has just kept them very securely in mid-table. But the win for Leyton Orient has just extended that gap to, what is that, 7 points?
7 points, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, which is a big gap for Stevenage or Northampton to try and take. And then obviously you've got Swindon, who beat Barrow. That moved them up to 4th. And I think anybody from the playoff picture wanting to break into this top 3, it's going to be a tough ask, I think.
I think the issue there is how much do the teams near the top have enough resources to turn around and stop players going from their club to teams higher up in that transfer window. If they got the wherewithal to turn around and say, no, we're staying here, we're going up with them, that's where you'll see the difference between what teams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be a big January, isn't it? Like I say, if players move on, it could end up derailing a very positive start to a season, or it could give the likes of Donny or Walsall, if we recruit well, something to go at towards the top end of the table. So League 2, interesting league to keep an eye on for sure. Moving on to League 1, we will get the League 1 ticker across the bottom. We're going to start at Sheffield Wednesday for Sheffield Wednesday 0, Oxford 0. Jake, talk us through it.
Incoming Jake Vant.
Where do I start? We didn't have Barry Bannon in the squad. He's going to be back for the Fleetwood game. It's a hamstring. It wasn't as bad as the thought, but when you don't have the likes of Barry Bannon and Byers in the squad, we have no creativity in the midfield. We look lost. We pass the ball to the opposition too much. You've got players who are smart enough to make that ball, but then you haven't got the players who are mentally there to know that ball coming or make that run. And that was a big issue in this game. They had some really good chances. They really did. And they came at us. They were really attacking. But again, we just kept on passing the ball to them or doing the Wednesday way. The interesting thing with this was that David Stockdale got dropped. Cameron Dawson got the nod for this game. And Dawson had a really good game. Better player for playing the ball at feet. At half-time, we're thinking, right, are we actually going to be able to do anything? We did change it up a little bit, but not enough. We brought Michael Smith on. He had 2 glorious chances. Doesn't really take them. In the first half, we have a chance where Patterson, Windass, and Johnson all miss it. They have a fantastic opportunity to go 1-0 up, and Henry skies it over the bar. It's a poor save for Dawson in one sense because he parries it to the Oxford man. He got to get it round the bar, around the post even, and not into his man. But then they mess it up, and then right at the death, it's definitely a penalty, by the way.
Yeah,
100% a penalty. He pulls him down, but the goalkeeping by Cameron Dawson is very clever. He feints to go the other side and then shifts his weight and plants his foot and goes in. It's a great save. Bang on the 96th minute as well. For me, it's a point
lost.
It's a point lost, but it's also a point gained because we were crap. It's one of those ones when you're that bad, you see it as a point gained and a point lost. Yes, if we had got the result, it would have done us better. But the big issue here is that it's saying 15 shots, 2 on target. Well, we scored 3 goals out of 5 in the last couple of games. We're not scoring enough now. We're defensively solid. Don't get me wrong. We're looking really good at the back, but we're not scoring. We're not making chances. The fact that Mighton and Wilkes didn't even get a say worried me, because it's like, what have they got to do to get in the squad? It's all right us saying that we're 10 unbeaten, but we're 10 unbeaten and we're not scoring. This is not the time where we want to not be scoring. We need to start scoring. Now, normally, this is where this normally happens around January time, where we don't score. I'm hoping that because we've done it early, we're going to go into that usual Sheffield Wednesday, push on, have a run at the back end, which we did last season, if you saw, to get us into the playoff properly secured. We can do that. And we've got the likes of Byers, Bannon, and a transfer window to come. It's going to be an interesting window. It wasn't a great game. There's still people calling for more to go, but the only time I would say that is saying if it's the end of January, maybe February, and we're still dropping out of the third place thing, maybe that's where you look and try and see if you can get someone in, like an Alex Neil did at Sunderland. But then again, it's like what we said before we came on. Who is there to actually come and do these jobs? Because you're looking at the manager pool now. It's getting smaller and smaller people who you can trust, who you've never heard of, and giving people their first-time jobs. And it's a lot of pressure to put on a new manager if that's the case. But it's a point. We didn't lose. We got a clean sheet. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I can't wait to play you lot in February then.
Shut up.
We've also Ipswich getting beat at Wickham, I believe it was. So it is a point gained on the top two. But
and what a goal from Hanlon as well.
Very good goal.
For Wickham. Excellent goal, weren't it?
I don't know.
Good result for Wickham, that. It puts them in the frame a little bit.
Yeah. But you said about it being 2 points dropped as well. That is because Plymouth managed to get a 2-1 win at home to Morecambe. I'll take the ticker off because it's currently going across Liam's face. So we'll get that off while Liam's talking about Plymouth Morecambe. The floor is all yours, mate. Tell us about this game. We've obviously got 80 IDs come in as well. He said, better for us, but my God, beyond wasteful. If Ennis could shoot, it would easily have the golden boot wrapped up. So talk us through this game.
Am I reading that right? 32 shots?
Yes.
Wow. It's all yours, Liam.
32 shots and only scoring 2 it's so poor. I mean, again, Morecambe, I can safely say they're going down. They were absolutely awful against us. How we scored 2, on another day, it could have been 6. Because first half, we created loads of chances, missed a pen. Whitaker's pen was awful. That was at my end as well. To be fair, give Morecambe credit. They brought 83 fans down.
That's a good effort. That
good effort, yeah.
Considering it didn't get told that it was going to get done until about 1:30.
Yeah, and Morecambe fans, I think they arrived at like 1:00. So if that got called off, I don't think they would have been very happy. But yeah, 32 shots and scoring 2. It could have been way more. I think we need shooting practice really. But 13 shots on target from 32 it's not too bad. Cosgrove getting his goal as well, which is very, very well. Took his goal very well. Ennis's goal, Ryan Hardy down the left hand side into the box, passed it to Ennis, easy goal. And Morecambe got a goal late on, and then we're thinking, not again, because when we conceded late on against Burton and we was winning that game, they scored in 96 minutes. And Schumacher said, he said he doesn't know why the fans was booing at half time. I disagree. I think the fans have a right to boo at half time because yes, it's 0-0. We missed a pen, and Morecambe are bottom of the league.
I understand that, but if you put yourself in a player point of view, if your fans are booing, what makes them come out to then put on a better performance? You're top of the league, mate. You're doing well. You're in a really good position. I understand you booing for wanting a better performance, but I could understand it if you're bottom of the league and you know you're going down, but you're not near the top. I think booing's a bit daft when how close you are to the top of the going up, because it's anyone's right to buy a ticket to boo. Don't get me wrong. You bought a ticket, you can boo. But at the same time, at half time, when the game's not done, if it's full time and it's 0-0, then okay, fair enough. But I honestly, if I'm honest, that is very much your gaffer turning around to you, a fan, saying, "What are you doing?"
Oh no, that's very true. But yeah, overall, good win. Our home record, 10 wins.
And also, isn't it your first win in 5?
Great.
First win in 6.
It's first win in 6.
Yeah, so that stopped the rot a little bit, hasn't it? And so you might go on another unbeaten run now.
I mean, our next couple of games are Cheltenham away, Boxing Day, Wickham at home, MK Dons at home, so 2 back-to-back home games.
Yeah, some tough ones there.
I understand it's your first win in 6. I get it, and I understand where when you're in that position you want to keep going, but I don't know. It just don't put too much pressure on them to bottle it like they did last season.
I think there's a problem in football in general. To be fair, from Premier League down to League Two and possibly non-league, we get it at the Rovers where, like you said, Jake, people are more than entitled to their opinions. It's football. That's why we love it. But I think
what really frustrates me is that people are writing us off. Which
the only reason people are writing you off, mate, is because of what you've done in the past. You can only go on what you've done in the past, and that's why you're being written off. A lot of us on here are not writing you off. We said you have a good thing, you'll be up. But the problem is your past experience doesn't help you.
No, it doesn't. No, we need to strengthen in January as well.
HID saying that performances over the last 2 months have been absolutely crap, but surely this must give you some sort of belief, having 32 shots. I mean, Jake's just said about Wednesday not having enough shots at goal and on target. This is the complete opposite, isn't it? 32 shots at goal, 13 on target. That at least you're creating chances. You've won a game. It's got to be. It's all positive, isn't it? It's all good.
It's a positive, but only scoring 2. We need to get our goal difference up, because
don't need goal difference, mate. You're top at league and you've got points. You just need to keep on winning the points, and goals won't come into it.
That's true. Yeah.
It's a weird one, because it's very weird us three having a Plymouth fan on and sounding so negative, considering you're top of the league at Christmas. That's where we're a bit confused, because anyone top of the league at Christmas, that's normally where you end up.
It's not me being negative. It's just having 32 shots and only scoring 2 is really, really annoying.
Yeah.
But another day you might have 11 shots and 5 of them go in.
Exactly.
I've seen that before in the past. Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah.
You can see what we're saying, Liam. It's weird because you're top of the league and you're sounding like you're near the bottom. It's odd.
Well, I think ATID kind of puts it into perspective that the run that they've just had has been tough, scraping draws. We've got more points from playing the top 6 in the space of 2 months than what we have against the bottom 6. So I think as a football fan, regardless of what team you follow, speaking as a Rovers fan, when we went to Hartlepool, they were bottom of the table. I expected a win and we got beat. We went to Colchester, bottom of the table. I expected a win. We got battered 3-0. I think games like that, maybe we just expect too much as football fans. Maybe we've got used to winning, and I'm all for the leagues being tight and everybody being able to beat everybody.
Personally,
Liam, remember what I said to you in your WhatsApp in the Instagram chat thing we're in? I said the biggest test will be when you lost at home the first time. And that's what's happened. Your first loss came at home, and this is your player getting back to grips on how to get back to winning ways.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think if we stay in the top 2, I think it's mainly going to be because of our home form. Because it's too good. Our next 2 home games are Wickham and MK Dons. The only team I see out of them 2 is probably giving us the most test is probably Wickham. Because they're in very good form.
Liam, I saw Argyle at Lincoln recently. The 1-1 draw. And that's a game that could have really gone away from you.
It could have, yeah.
And it was quite a good point in the end. Because Lincoln are strong at home, so I think it was a point game, that one.
That was 100%, I agree. That was the one I wanted a point from. And then after that, we had Burton away. Because then I'm thinking, if we can get a point at Lincoln, that's a point gained. And a win at Burton, that's 4 points from 6. But dropping points against Burton was frustrating. But I do see Burton surviving this year because I think what's his name? Adebayo, that's his name. I'm trying to spell his name right. He's a very good player.
Sorry, I just read in the comments.
Burton lose him, they're in trouble. Messi can't be the GOAT. He is the GOAT.
But no, this Plymouth game, for me, it's a very good result. Ipswich have dropped points. Wednesday have dropped points.
Yeah.
It's just opened that gap up a little bit. And like ATID said, it's the first win in 6. So
first win in 6, yeah. And we got Cheltenham Boxing Day.
Yeah, that rot has potentially been stopped. It's a good time to stop it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Cheltenham goes ahead. That'll be great.
Yeah. We'll get the ticker back on. We can just see your face, Liam. You're there.
Yeah.
Lizzie is in. Sorry I'm late. It's all right. You can catch it up at any point.
It's not good enough.
Harding is not accepted.
She gets a boyfriend and then suddenly was second everything.
We're thrown to curb, aren't we? That's it.
Should we go to
Ian, you wanted to say a few words about a good win for Derby, 4-0 at home to Forest Green.
Yeah, after going his whole career without scoring a hat-trick, McGoldrick gets 2 in 6 weeks.
Damn it, I
forgot about it. Seems like player. It just seems like it was a battering. Mendes Lang scored the first goal, decent finish. Yeah, another one. And then just a great hat-trick. The second goal in particular, when he took it with 1 foot, transferred it onto his left and hit it in. Great finish. I've got grave doubts about Forest Green surviving. I think they look relegated now. They've just not got the resources. They've not got the playing staff. They've not got the managerial staff. They did really well to go up, but I think it's a step too far for them. And I honestly do think that they'll get relegated this time. Although, obviously, they're not going to be playing Derby away every week.
No.
But Warney's team seem to start turning the draws into wins. They don't lose many.
Started clicking.
They're going to be right up there. I don't think they'll make the top 2, but they'll be dangerous playoff opponents for anybody.
Yeah, I'd agree.
What would you say, Dan?
I'd agree, mate. Yeah, I think
they're buried. Really, I don't see them surviving.
Yeah,
no.
I hope they don't survive because if Argo stay in League One next season, I don't have to go to their ground.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'd agree with you there, Ian. Forest Green look pretty much doomed, and Derby, I think they'll be strong playoff contenders for sure.
Do you all hate me?
What?
Do you all hate me about Derby playoffs? Did I not tell you that we've not beat them since 2006 at home at their place?
You might
be in second, mate.
You got a point.
Not as good as us, sir.
Jake, you wanted to talk about Pompey MK Dons.
Absolute fantastic result for NK this. They're looking like Richardson, the ex-Wigan manager, may get the job, but this could be the kind of result that changes their situation and gets them on saying, Bradley Johnson doing what Bradley Johnson does. He's just a good player. I would have thought.
It was a great goal, that.
Yeah. It was. He's been doing that all his entire career, though, hasn't he? Let's be honest. And took a goal very well took. And I worry for Pompey now.
I don't.
I worry for Pompey in the sense that surely Cowley gonna. I don't know how Cowley keeps his job here now because they're so far away. Yeah, they've got games in hand. They've got games in hand.
It's either Cowley goes, or if they keep him, they play playoffs. Simple as that.
I can't see them getting playoffs.
No, I don't.
I don't. I mean, that's brilliant for me as an Argo fan because it's funny, but there we go.
I think the issue here with Cowley is Cowley got massively burnt when he did the Huddersfield job.
Yeah,
it never really worked, and
the
thing is, Cowley is a very good manager, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to work at Pompey. Pompey just
not working, is it?
No, something's not right. And the Cowley brothers are great at building teams. They've been what they did at Lincoln. They had the plan of doing it at Huddersfield. I thought they were halfly done by it at Huddersfield. If they can't get Portsmouth to be right, something's wrong.
We'll show Pompey how it's done on New Year's Day.
I think the number of injuries they've got, Harkness missing until February, is a big loss for them. In the middle of the park, they've got one or two more injuries, but I don't know. They've got everything. They've got the fan base, they've got the tradition. They are hard to beat, even though MK got 2 against them. But they draw too many games, and I think the Cowleys aren't meeting the fans' expectations, because I watched 4-0 written all over it last night, and there's some really unhappy Pompey fans.
Yep.
I only watch.
We've said it.
I only watch his vlogs when they lose.
I think we've said it a few times on here that a Pompey shirt is heavy.
Yeah, it is.
Heavy one to wear.
Milan Mandzukic was in that game as well.
History that they've got as well.
17,000 fans and wearing a Pompey shirt is big expectation.
A lot of fans left that game early. It was like pretty much empty by the time the full-time whistle went.
It was,
yeah.
A lot of booze around Fratton as well.
Probably rightfully so as well, because I think we've said a few times that MK Dons were starting to get cut adrift.
I mean, we got beat to Port Vale and there's a lot of booze around Dome Park. But then again, that was our first loss at home park.
I'm going to say that was your first loss at home, so.
I know.
And Vale are no mugs.
No, that's it. I think, like I've said, I think there's a high expectation across the football league at the minute in a lot of fan bases, where as soon as you lose one game or draw a few, it's like they're wanting to win every single game, and that it's never going to happen in football. You've got to take. I'm going to pick up
on that on our match.
Yeah, but looking at the table, that win for MK Dons has really helped them out.
Do you see Cambridge going down? Any of you lads?
I see them staying up. They got enough.
I think it'll be tight.
Yeah,
and I think Mark Bonner's might start to think about his decision-making process.
Also, on the Cambridge one, Fleetwood, that was bad timing when you called that game off. You were 40 miles from the game, from the thing, and you decided to call it off. You could have called that off earlier.
Yeah.
I think, especially with the weather this weekend, I think a lot of games could have been called off on Friday night, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, Donnies weren't called off while Saturday morning, weren't it?
No. I mean, we only had Harrogate, so it's only an hour away, so it's not bad.
Argo made a decision at 25 past 1. But then again, our pitch is decent, so I had no doubts of our pitch not being ready.
ATID said that the loss at home was on the back of 5 absolutely bollocks performances prior. so yeah, having said that, potentially a build-up of frustration from a number of poor performances and fans seeing what a lot of people have said about you potentially falling away. Maybe that's where the frustration comes out in terms of the booing. But yeah, bottom of the table looks like this. Morecambe sit rooted, Burton in 23rd, MK in 22nd, Forest Green in 21st.
I was saying this to Jake in the Insta chat last night. I was saying that I think you had a run of Argyle, Barnsley, and I think Ipswich, and I said that's your most crucial month.
And it was the most poor month we had.
Look at Barnsley's form. Wow.
Yeah. The reason why Duff got manager of the month.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I saw him in the cup against Crewe, And yeah, the opposition weren't good, but they look really, really good.
I'm very, very worried as a Wednesday fan right now because Derby, Bolton, Barnsley are on a charge and we're not really doing anything. We could actually lose touching distance from the top two if we're not careful. We were in a period where we were running away from it, and but teams below us are starting to catch up, which is a worry for me because
you'll be fine.
It depends how we're doing transfer window. I think we need some certain things in transfer window, but Barnsley, Bolton, Derby go on a run at the same time as us going on a run, then great. But it's a worry when they're starting to pick up points, especially when you look at that. Our record is the same as Derby's.
Yeah.
And Barnsley in the middle there are just flying.
Yeah, 5 on the bounce in their last 5. It's
in 20 points ahead of Exeter. Oh, it's a good sight, that is.
But yeah, the result for Plymouth this weekend, Liam, has really helped your position at the top of the table, especially with Ipswich falling to defeat at Wycombe.
Yeah, definitely.
Sheffield Wednesday dropping points against Oxford. But yeah, I think Wednesday will be fine. Barnsley looking very, very good.
Oh, Ipswich fans, by the way, Wycombe isn't for everyone. Beating Wycombe isn't for everyone.
God. I've got opinions on Wycombe Wanderers. Oh, crikey Moses. Yeah. Yeah. You better do that as well. I wouldn't like to be watching them every week, put it that way.
We've got to play them at home on the 29th. Oh, God help me.
Yeah.
Sam Davies, Jake, is put 3rd in January. It's about time Darren Moore goes to a bigger club.
There's no much bigger club than Sheffield Wednesday, mate.
That's funny.
Lee Byrne Wednesday were flying at one point, and my dad's from Sheffield. He's a Wednesday fan, and even Dad thinks Barnsley will overtake Wednesday.
Yeah,
so
I'm a bit.
Honestly, won't overtake Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday will be fine.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ian, you were going to give your opinions on Wycombe, but I'd save your ranting for this one. We'll move on to the Championship.
Yeah, I think
do I need to have this button ready?
I think you might do.
Right, you get that bleeper ready. Well, I paid a tenner for an iFollow patch, and I want me money back. This was a 3-0 massacre. It could have been 10. Do they just cut? West Brom just cut through us. They're a good side, West Brom. They've got good players, good experienced players.
I'm just seeing the stats here. You got pumped. Jesus.
Yeah, we had 2 shots, 1 on target, and that were Ogbenny giving the goalkeeper catching practice in the second half. We were just never at the races. We didn't look bothered. There were no intensity, no closing down. We looked as far apart as Katie Price's legs in defence. If you see the goals, the first one.
Honestly, Ian, that was the last thing I expected to come out of your mouth.
Really? Yeah. The first goal, it was a stupid mistake on the halfway line by Wes Harding. Let the guy come through and pick his spot. The second goal, absolutely no marking whatsoever. He managed to get his ball across, and the guy that had only come on the field 10 seconds earlier stuck it away. The third goal, an idiotic Cameron Humphreys challenge, gave a penalty away, and Thomas Asante scored on the rebound after Johansson parried the first kick. And we never had one. We never had a kick for the whole 94, 95 minutes. And if we continue to set up with a winger on his own up front and 2 strikers on the bench, that is the second hammering we've had in 2 weeks, because Bristol City tore us a new one last weekend. It's worrying. It's worthy of complaint, even though Matt Taylor, you know, what you're complaining about, we're not in the bottom 3, not yet. Something's got to happen in January. I know that Borough have been in for Dan Barlaser making inquiries. If he wants to go, he's a North East lad. So long as we don't get ripped off transfer fee wise, let's get a replacement. because he's trying to. Taylor's trying to change the way we play, but unfortunately, he's still got Paul Warren's players. So therefore, he needs a couple of transfer windows to A, get his ideas across, and B, get his players in to play the type of game he wants. At the moment, we're treading water, we're going nowhere. And we've got Stoke at home on Boxing Day and Huddersfield away a few days after. They're two clubs that are lower mid-table and Huddersfield are bottom. So points in them are vital. If we can win both games, everything in the garden looks rosy again, but it'll take a big improvement in performance.
Yeah, I think.
And I'm sorry to make you laugh, Jakey.
No, it's fine. That made my week.
It wasn't only us that you made laugh, Ian. Obviously, Lizzie.
Sam, I've got actually Dan's favourite on the soundboard. If you want to hear.
Who's your pick for the Challenge Door? This is my answer, Jake. It's all yours.
It just gets harder and harder. It just keeps getting harder.
Love it. So yeah, not a great result for Rob.
Not a great result at all.
But we said before we came on air, West Brom. I think that was 5 on the bounce, and you've mentioned West Brom a number of times over the last 18 shows, Ian, or last 17 shows. We've been saying that they've looked rough. They've looked like they're down and out. You've always praised them and said that they're far too good. It's starting to show now, isn't it?
Well, unfortunately, Steve Bruce is no longer manager.
Yeah.
You not mention that name to me. That was one hell of a dog walk. That poor dog.
Moving on, Jake, you wanted to talk Cardiff.
Blackpool, so we'll talk the game first. Oh, Claxon, I forgot Medine. Good. Gary Medine, the washing machine. Good. So yeah, it's a good game. Cardiff are doing it. I think they've got enough to stay up. I'm not sure. Because of the news that happened over the weekend, they have a transfer embargo till 2024 due to Emilio Sala transfer fee not being paid. And it's going to sound really, really not a nice way of putting it because it's a person's life. But basically what Cardiff have basically said is, look, we never received the package, so we're not paying you the money for it. And that's what they've done. When, in theory, it was all done and dusted. They never got the 15 million payment for the player because of the whole what's happened. And I feel sorry for the fans because the fans haven't done this. This is a board thing. But at the same time, it's going to make it very difficult for them going forward. If they're in a transfer embargo till 2024, they're not in a good place in the table at the moment. No. And they need to recruit. Now, as a Wednesday fan here, we've got Mark McGuinness on loan at Wednesday, and he's having a blinder. Now, I could see them quite easily either turning around and saying, hey, we need to have this player back because we can't sign anyone. Or it could be, hey, we need to sell players because to put into whatever, because I've still assumed they're still going to pay this 15 million.
Yeah. See, something like that. I mean, like you said, it's somebody's life, and it was tragic what happened. But if you look at it like a purchase of something from Amazon or online, and you don't receive what you've bought, you do get a refund. But it's such thin ice to walk on when it's somebody's life and it's such a tragic accident. I think this is something where both of the football associations in France and England should have got their heads together and basically said, right, we foot this bill.
But decisions like this that the suits make, it's always the fans that suffer. Always. Yeah. You know, embargoes, points, deductions, everything like that. It's always the fans that carry the can at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And this result, this 1-1 draw, does neither of them any good, really.
No, it doesn't.
For neither side. I mean, I still... At the start of the season, I always, especially when we're in the Championship, I look for 3 worse teams than Rotherham so we can stop up. And I think these two are 2 of them.
Yeah.
I honestly do think that they'll be in a relegation scrap until the end of the season, both Cardiff and Blackpool.
Yeah.
So they had their account showed that they had a net loss of 11.2 million with player wages costing 26 million in 2022. And their Cardiff City debts are currently 109 million. That's an issue. Like, yes, the owner covering it and all that lot, but having a situation where you can't sign players when you're in that position near the bottom is difficult. Trust me, been there. What relegated us?
Yeah, it's not a good position to be in, is it?
And again, this was a game versus Blackpool where both teams are down there. So it's really interesting to see that it was a 1-1 where both of them needed the 3 points. And Blackpool, again, for us, doesn't help. We've got Reece James on loan. But I think Reece James may also be able to put a sign. I don't think he's a championship player, but I think he's a damn good League One player. So it might be. But it's interesting. I just want to know what people thought was on the Cardiff situation because it's such a mess for the fans. But
any Cardiff fans watching, in the comments down below, what's happening at your club? If you're watching it on repeat as well, get your comments in, and it could be something that we talk about in next week's show.
Yeah.
Before we check the table out, I do want to just mention Norwich against Blackburn. A great win for Blackburn, but the thing for me that I've noticed is no teams have won more in the Championship than Blackburn Rovers at the minute. There's no team with fewer draws than Blackburn in the Championship at the moment, and there's only 5 teams in the Championship that have lost more games than Blackburn. Blackburn
was Ben Gibson doing for that goal?
So yeah,
that own goal. What was Ben Gibson doing? Just move your leg. It goes to the keeper. It's a save.
Yeah, but this has put pressure on Norwich's manager. His name has gone.
Dean Smith.
Dean Smith. Do you think this has put a bit more pressure on Dean Smith?
Well, we talk about demanding fan bases. I think they've got one at Carrow Road. I think they expect to go up. When they get relegated, I think they expect to go up. And normally they're normally ripping the Championship a new one at this time. They're looking vulnerable. Defensively, especially. I mean, Ben Gibson's own goal was a bit of a joke.
It's a bit of a howler, wasn't it?
It were a howler.
The problem is
Watford seem to be hitting form just at the right time.
I can see Preston and Birmingham getting into this. Top 6.
They're in the mix, aren't they?
Yep. Definitely.
It's still a very, very tight division, though.
You actually look from about Middlesbrough, probably from Coventry, actually, onward, could go into that top 6.
Yeah.
Luton. It's so tight. Someone goes on a run in that area, it's there.
Look at West Brom, 16th. They're on fire at the moment. 4 or 5 more wins, and they'll be sort of like pushing 6th or 7th.
I don't see Coventry doing it. They bottled a 3-0 lead yesterday.
Yeah, it was 3-3.
Yeah, I think they've done superbly though after the start of the season that they had with the problems with the pitch and
also as far as Coventry's concerned, I think they might lose some of their best players in January, especially that Gakoris, O'Hare. They've all been touted around with clubs with money.
Should we just say?
I worry for Huddersfield. Yeah, Huddersfield, I think, are down.
Yeah, I do as well.
What were you wanting to say, Liam?
I was just saying what Jake said. I reckon Huddersfield are going. They're going down.
Yeah, they're getting cut adrift, aren't they? For sure.
Yeah.
It's not great.
And it's looking more and more precarious for us as well, especially if this form continues.
It is, mate. But like you say, you've got Blackpool, Cardiff, Wigan. I think Hull can probably pull away from that. But there's 4 teams down there that I'd say are worse than what you are. But like I say, it's just...
Well, if we finish the season 5th from bottom, I'll be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if I got get promoted to the Championship, just give me what you're having now. I'd happily take it.
It'll be interesting to see how this season goes now, because you're looking at these tables and it's getting to that point where teams who can bend need to bend, and teams who can't will struggle. Now, I know I've said in the past, like some of the stuff out of the chat that I've had with you, Liam, and the lads, that it was looking like you weren't going to actually get anything in the transfer window. You might have been able to get some money set aside now to get some by the sounds of it. But the problem is it's got to be the right one. I'd be worried for a likes of you if Cochrane, Wicketer all get told, hey, we're going in January. Our club wants it back.
Whitaker's not going, apparently.
What they said in the paper and then what they said with them privately. Like I said, be very wary what's said out in the media to what's said behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Because Swansea might be in that position where they want to go on a push. Where's Swansea at the minute? Dan.
Yes, because a lot of what's said in the media is just clickbait, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Schumacher said that he wants 2 signings in January and permanent ones.
You look at Swansea, they might turn around and say, hey, you're scoring goals at the minute, come back, we need them. It's all about where people are in the league. That's where you got to, and Birmingham, if they want, say if they get an injury to someone and Cochrane need to go, this is where loans are great, but it also, if you've got teams in trouble or pushing, it
runs a risk.
I've got to say, teams can keep their hands off Michael Cooper as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, decent keeper.
He's a very good keeper.
Yeah.
To be honest,
the championship table is shaping up very, very nicely. Coming up to, we're pretty much at the halfway point for every team.
If
We're on 21 and 22 games, but the majority on 23. So, yeah, it's looking like it's going to go to the wire.
If our guy not keeping clean sheets, I think is actually kind of a good thing, because then people don't look at Cooper. If we get clean sheets, people are looking at Cooper.
Yeah, tell Cooper to throw one in every game.
Yeah.
But only if you're 4-0 up.
Yeah.
That being said, David Stockdale, most clean sheets in League One. We're 11 and we dropped him yesterday.
I want to keep
absolutely nothing. Before we finish off, Sam has come in with his shout for the Chalon d'Or, the Rochon Williams one. Yeah, that is pretty decent. If
I can send it me, I'll put it on the soundboard for next week.
We'll get it on.
How many clean sheets has Cooper got, Jake?
Let me have a look.
While Jake's having a look at that, Sam's come in. We need some signings. Sam's a Rovers fan. Need a new centre-back would be nice. If only we had a bright young defender. Oh, wait, yeah. Bobby Faulkner has been loaned out to Worksop Town, I think. I might be wrong with that.
I can't believe that. I really can't believe that, because I was really impressed when I saw him.
So was
I thought if they're good, because Worksop Town's about step 7, isn't it? Really,
something like that. Maybe 8. Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, they've got to have irons in the fire. Rovers have got to have a centre back lined up.
He got 8 clean sheets in 21 matches.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's
Michael
decent.
Cooper per 90-minute goal conceded, that is 1.05.
That's not bad. I think he'll keep hold of him for sure. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the 72 review. We've done it in under an hour.
Yeah, we have.
What a day. Who would have thought it? But no, I want to say thank you to Jake, Puncture 41, as always, part of the furniture now on this one. Ian as well, part of the furniture on the panel. A huge thank you to Liam, again, from the Argyle Way. All the links are in the description down below. Thank you for coming on and giving your expertise on Plymouth Argyle.
No problem.
On that, if anybody's watching and you've got a channel, you're a content creator yourself, and you want to come on and talk about your club, you're more than welcome. You can message myself on Twitter, Jake on Twitter, or Ian as well. We're all more than happy to chat with anybody, and we'll get people on as a guest appearance.
This is our last show before Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoyed
the
content that we give you.
Yeah, because next Sunday is the Christmas Day, isn't it? Next Sunday.
Yep.
It is. So there won't be one on. Well,
so it'll be the Sunday afterwards. So we'll reconvene.
Oh, January the 1st, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Possibly. Stay tuned to my Twitter.
Find out. It depends how hungover Dan is.
Yes.
It's all to do with Dan. He's the gaffer. He's the boss.
I'm a very busy man. What can I say?
If I go win on New Year's Day, I'll come on. If we don't win, I ain't coming on. No,
we're not having fair weather fans, Liam. Win, lose or draw, we support our teams.
Yeah, we do.
But
if me and Dan have to do the episodes that we did for the football blogger for me, where we were conceding, and Dan last season, you definitely have to come off as your top.
Yeah,
we were poor last season, and I put myself through that for every single game.
It wasn't the EFL review show; it was just Dan and Lizzie's therapy sessions.
Well, at least
it was Sunday therapy.
At least you don't have to watch Sheffield Wednesday on New Year's Day, Jake, because
it means I can have a hangover and enjoy it.
It means you don't. They don't have to put you through the ringer. Happy New Year, Jake. It was a loss.
I'll go get the next.
We will see. I'm sure it will all come out in the wash sooner rather than later. But no, that brings us to the end of this show. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you to these three lads for contributing their knowledge to the show as well. As Jake said already, I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. And if we don't see you before the new year, we hope you have a Happy New Year too, and a very prosperous 2023. This has been the 72 review. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.